Hey loves! Today we're doing a full face of dupes. I'm going to do half of my makeup with high-end products and the other half is going to be affordable / drugstore products, and we're going to see if they compare to the high-end side. I actually really love both sets of products here. Some of these are newer, but I'm curious to see how they look side by side and to see if we can see a difference. Which one is better? We shall see. So grab a snack, get cozy, and let's get into it. So we're going to start with the primer first, and for the high-end side I have the Vanish Airbrush Primer from Hourglass. This is actually one of my favorites. It is very smoothing, makes the skin look so blurred before makeup, and it works with a lot of different foundations. And then for drugstore I have the CoverGirl Velvet Blur Primer. I have been loving this. I feel like this is also very smoothing, and I'm very curious to see how it looks side by side with the Hourglass because I think the CoverGirl one is actually really good. So let's do Hourglass first. I'm gonna apply this on this side of my face. I love the texture of this too. And I'm gonna give this about a minute or so to really absorb into the skin before going in with foundation, which I always recommend doing with your primers in general. And we're going to do CoverGirl on the other side. I am wiping away. Also, I have some wipes here, washcloths, all the things so that my hands are clean for each application. And I'm going to use different brushes on each side as well. I feel like the consistencies are very similar. I think for me, I love the one from Hourglass, but this one from CoverGirl is one of the closest that I have found to be like very similar in texture and like the consistency of it. But this side does look like it's a little bit more of like a softer finish versus CoverGirl, but let's let this absorb a little bit longer. So both primers have fully absorbed into the skin. This is Hourglass. I do feel like this one is a little bit smoother versus CoverGirl. I think Hourglass might take the cake on this one, but I still love the CoverGirl one. For foundation, I'm going to go in with the Easy Blur from Huda Beauty. I have been loving this one. This is my favorite tie-in foundation at the moment. It has beautiful coverage with a natural finish. I'm using the shade 300 and Latte. And then for the drugstore side, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation, which is my favorite drugstore foundation at the moment. Also beautiful coverage, and it has more of a satin finish. This foundation from Huda is also very blurring on the skin. I love the coverage. I really honestly just love everything about the foundation. I think it has really good lasting power as well. I'm going to use my Sigma Flat Top Kabuki. This is the F80. I did a 2-day wear test with this foundation also, and I love it. It's really, really pretty. So that is Huda. Looks so good. Now let's do e.l.f. on the other side. So with the e.l.f., I'm going to mix 2 shades. That's kind of just how I get my perfect match. I do 31 medium neutral with 25 light neutral, just so I can get the undertone right, because that's the only thing you have to maybe mix with e.l.f. But it is an $8 foundation, so even if you buy 2, it's still cheaper than the high-end side. And you also get 1 fluid ounce with Huda Beauty as well. So this is a little concoction that I did here, and then this just kind of gives me my perfect match. I also love this foundation. I think this is probably the best drugstore foundation that came out in 2024, and it's $8. I just can't get over it because it's so pretty. It has, I believe, 36 different shades. I'm going to use this Flower Beauty brush. It's like a little powder brush, but I like it for foundation. That also looks so good. I feel like Huda Beauty right off the bat, it definitely has a more of like a pigmented formula. So I'm going to add a little bit more on the e.l.f. side. So I think to get that full, super full coverage, you have to build up e.l.f. a little bit more, whereas Huda gives a little bit more coverage right off the bat. So here we have e.l.f. It's definitely a little bit more satin. So it has slight more luminosity versus the one from Huda, but still beautiful coverage, and this also wears really nicely as well. I've tested it with many different primers. I like it with the CoverGirl primer, and I also really like this with a gripping primer. I think it's a really nice combo. And then this is Huda Beauty, which, like I said, definitely has a little bit more pigment and coverage right off the bat. I think Huda has a slight more kind of blurring property to it versus e.l.f., but the e.l.f. is still gorgeous, don't get me wrong. but the Huda foundation is good. I think she definitely killed it with the formula. It is fantastic. Now for blush, I have the Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Blush Duo. This one is in She's Blushing. This is a new color for me. I literally just got this in the mail today. The dupe, I have not tested them. Again, we're gonna test them out side by side. This is the Catrice Blush Affair Cream and Powder Palette in the shade Peach Passion. I got this on Amazon and I actually just got this yesterday. Very curious about this dupe. Now, of course, the packaging on Patrick Ta is going to be more luxe. This is a little bit more simple, but it's cute. I like Catrice. They used to be available at Ulta. Unfortunately, they're not anymore. You have to get them on Amazon. But I do like their products though too. So this is the powder. Oh, this is the cream. Okay, so this is the cream side. Very pretty. I know Patrick Ta's method is powder and then cream, but I like cream and powder. So I think it's definitely personal preference. So let's go in with the cream first, of course. That's pretty. It's like a natural rose color. Rosy pink. I'm trying to like put my blush up higher. I feel like I do always do it pretty low and I don't mean to. I think I don't know, when I'm doing my makeup, I don't even realize it until after it's all done. And then I'm like, oh, my blush is kind of low, but bringing it up a little bit towards my temple. I know it looks a little crazy. I'm going to add concealer and blend this in. It's going to look better. I also like to kind of just use my foundation brush around the edges if it looks a little bit too much. But we're going to go over this too with powder. So I always say you can go a little crazy with the cream blush if you want, because then when you add your powder and everything and set, it's going to be a little bit more toned down anyways. And see, with the foundation brush, it already helps to make it look a little bit more diffused and soft. That is a gorgeous color. I love it. I think this actually might be my favorite duo. It's like the perfect muted rose. He has a ton of really great shades, which I love. On the other side, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Complexion Duo Brush, which is one of my favorite dupes for this IT Cosmetics brush. I love the one from IT, but this one from e.l.f. is amazing as well. So now let's try out Catrice. I feel like the undertones are going to be a little bit different, but let's see. It's pretty. It's actually, I feel like, a little bit brighter than Patrick Ta. It has a bit more of like a peach tone, whereas the Patrick Ta is a little bit more, you know, rose. Let me add a little bit more to the Patrick Ta side so they can kind of look as similar as possible. Also has that kind of luminous finish, which I really like. So that's Catrice. Yeah, that's Patrick Ta. I love both formulas. I think, wow, this Catrice blush is super pigmented. I always say it's the tiny products, tiny but mighty. I feel like the undertones are slightly different, but honestly, that looks so good. I really like how this blends. It has also that very similar dewy finish, just like Patrick Ta, which is pretty. So I don't have a new concealer dupe. If you guys have any new ones, let me know down below in the comments. So I'm just going to use my tried and true Haus Labs concealer on both sides. This one's in shade 24. I feel like the blushes though, even though the undertones are a little bit different, I mean, side by side, you can't tell a huge difference. You know, like they both look really pretty and dewy. Now we do have a powder dupe. This I have not tried side by side, but I was looking through my collection and I'm like, maybe this could be a dupe. We'll see. So for the high-end side, we have the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. This one is an ultra pink. Beautiful mattifying formula. And then for the drugstore side, we have the Lottie London Ready Set Go Brightening Pink Powder. I tested this out recently and I thought it was a really pretty, kind of more neutral pink powder, so I want to kind of see how it looks side by side. I actually do think this is a nice powder. I thought it could be good too since we kind of have like a pink blush. That's typically when I like to do pink powder, is with a pink blush. Already the one from One Size looks like it's going to be a little bit more pink. The one from Lottie London is a little bit lighter. I'm using the clean side of my puff. These are from Sonia Kashuk. Kind of just rub it on the back of my hand so that it looks nice and smooth when you apply it. And then don't forget, I always say to blend out those little creases. look up to if needed. And set right after. Oh, that's pretty. It is very pink. I'm only going to use this on my under eyes just because it is so pink, and I'm going to use a regular pressed powder for the rest of my face. That's what it looks like. I think pink powder looks the best with pink blush because then it kind of just morphs everything into one, but it looks very smooth. And now on the other side I have another little puff. This one is from Lottie London. I've only used this powder like twice, so this is going to be like my third time. We'll see how it looks. Hopefully good. Oh wow, I actually think the one from Lottie London is a little bit more bright than One Size. One Size has just more of like a neutral tone. This one's slightly brighter. Lottie London looks good though. Like it looks also really smooth, I will say. It's just the tone is a little bit different. To be honest, I think I prefer the tone of the Lottie London one for my skin tone. This is not a new dupe. I've definitely talked about this before. You guys have probably seen this on TikTok, but it is fantastic. So Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder. This is one of my favorite pressed powders. It's just smooth. It gives a soft matte finish. I love everything about it. For the drugstore side, we have the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. This one is in One Fair, and then the drugstore one is in Light. Clearly, these are both very loved. These are two of my most used powders that I just love to kind of keep in rotation. So I'm gonna use that to set because I don't want to set with a pink powder. I really just like that for my under eyes. I'm gonna use this Laura Lee Los Angeles L11 brush. It's just like a flat top kabuki. I love brushes like this because it really gives you the most out of your powder because you're really pressing it into the skin. And then on the other side, I'm going to use a flat top kabuki from e.l.f. This is the powder brush. And what's nice about NYX is that they actually have more shades than the high-end side, so I love that. I'm just adding a little bit of bronzer to the sides of my nose because we don't want to forget that. Wow, that looks so good. I think both sides look really good. The blush, the powder, the foundation. I mean, let's be real, I can barely tell a difference. Wow, I love the blushes. That's probably one of my favorite things that I use. And the Lottie London powder, come through, Lottie London. Let's finish off the blushes. I'm gonna add a little bit of powder on both sides. So I'm gonna use an angled brush. I have this Sephora collection angled brush. I got this years ago, like literally when I was in college. I still have it. I'm gonna use some of this on here. Not that you really need it because you can still see that cream underneath, but just to really emphasize that color. On the other side, I have this little ColourPop angled brush. This is the F21. It's just like a little fluffy angled brush. Let's do the powder. It's very pigmented. Oh, okay, it has a little bit more of like a glow. I feel like the Catrice side. That's what the colors look like. I think tone-wise, I do like the one from Patrick Ta more, but the one from Catrice is still really pretty and it definitely gives a little bit of that sort of inner glow from within, which I do like as well. But the one from Patrick Ta, I think, is slightly more matte, in my opinion. Not bad though. Let's add some bronzer. So I have been using the Sun Show bronzer from Kosas. This one is in the shade Beachy. It's a really pretty baked bronzer. The only thing is, you guys, I just realized this. I thought it was just me, and then I looked at some reviews. This has a really weird smell. You guys know I smell everything. It smells like a snack that has been in a pantry for way too long. I don't know, it's weird. I literally thought it was just my bronzer, and then I was looking on the Sephora website, looking through their different shades, and I looked at the reviews and people were mentioning it. So it's a very odd smell. It's a beautiful product, but the smell is very pantry-ish. I don't know, like just something that's been sitting for a really long time. Very weird, but it's a beautiful product. But just a little FYI, the smell, it's there. And then for the drugstore side, I have this Makeup Revolution bronzer Reloaded in a Long Weekend. It's a beautiful, also baked bronzer. I did swatch these and I feel like the undertones are kind of similar. They have like that orangey base. Very pretty. I actually like the one from Makeup Revolution too. And this one does not smell like anything, which honestly I prefer. I think I'm actually gonna use the same brushes. I'm just gonna spot clean them. I just want like a little sun kiss there on the forehead, you know? Just to bring a little bit of color to that area as well. And I'm gonna do a little bit right around my jawline. And then on the other side, I'm gonna use that same ColourPop brush. I'm just gonna also spot clean it. This is really pigmented too, by the way. It's a little bit more on the powdery side, but I still really like it. Also has that orangey base, so that's why I feel like it is a very similar in tone kind of bronzer with that golden glow. I mean, you see the forehead, how it's like a little golden. It's pretty. I'm gonna finish up my eyes really quick, and I just have such a good eyeliner dupe. So for the high-end side, I have the Huda Beauty Creamy Eye Kohl, which I do think is actually a really good eyeliner. I love that you don't have to sharpen it, it's just retractable. And then for the drugstore side, I actually like the drugstore side more. I think it's darker, but this is the Rimmel Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Pencil. I got this in a 2-pack at Walmart. You can get it online now. I don't know if Rimmel is still in all Walmart stores, but this is worth getting online for. It is such a black eyeliner. It's also retractable, and it's just really good. I love a good black liner for my looks. So we're gonna do Huda on this side. Okay, black liner, cute. This is good. Look at that. Instantly, I feel like it's also creamier and just a little bit more pigmented. I love this dupe. This is really, really good. I'm gonna finish up my eyes really quick. I'm just gonna do lower lash mascara and a little bit of white eyeshadow in the inner corner, and then we're gonna do a lip combo and setting spray. Now I have a lip liner dupe. This one is Charlotte Tilbury Love Trap. I love this really beautiful, more mauve toned, deeper pink. I love the lasting power on these, and I really like this color, Iconic Nude and Foxy Brown. Those are my 3 favorites. Then for the drugstore side, I have the Hard Candy Insta Palette Lip Liner in the shade First Move. I really also love this formula. You don't have to sharpen it, which is nice, and you also get a little brush so you could blend in your lip liner. A little bit lighter than the high-end one, but I feel like the tone is kind of similar. Shut up, that looks really good. Now for the high-end lip oil, I have the Odyssey Lip Oil Gloss from Milk Makeup in Soul Search. This is one of my favorite pinks. It's like a gorgeous, milky, beautiful pink. And then for the drugstore side, we have the Glosstopia Lip Slide Lip Oil from Hard Candy in the shade Pink Play. Very similar tones. I feel like the one from Milk Makeup is a little bit lighter, but they're both very opaque. I think if I had to choose, I would say I do like the ones from Milk more. They're a little bit more long wearing and super creamy. However, the ones from Hard Candy are really nice as well, and I've been enjoying those. So let's do Milk on this side. These have a smell to it too. They smell like vanilla. I should have blended in the lip liner into my lips a little bit more. It's fine. That's a really like close dupe. It's a little bit more pink, whereas Milk is just more like milky. I like them though. I like both of them, truthfully, but I do like the one from Milk. But Hard Candy also did not come to play. Both of them feel very comfortable on the lips, which I do like, and they don't have a very like sticky residue, so just fabulous. If you're into pinks, these are really pretty additions to your lip combos. Now for setting spray, I'm going to use the Surreal Skin Soft Setting Spray from Makeup by Mario. This has a beautiful fine mist. Love it. It's just amazing. Then on the other side, I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Perfect Oil Control Matte Finish Setting Spray. I've experimented with this, honestly, not that much. Pretty much only in the summertime. I used it like twice. But I was looking through my collection and I'm like, I need to use this again. When I did test this out, it does say matte on it. I feel like I didn't really get a ton of mattifying with it because I was using a lot of glowy products. It was in the summer, you know, but I did enjoy the setting spray though. So I want to continue using it because look at the mist on this. Just beautiful, nice and even, very fine, It doesn't have any fragrance to it, which I like, and then the one from Makeup by Mario doesn't either. I'm going to use this ColourPop palette to cover my face so I can set. And then we're going to do LA Girl. Let's let that absorb. And I'll be back in a little to discuss the details. I feel like we have a lot of really good ones, and at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, both sides look so similar. Unless you're looking super up close and personal, you can see those slight differences, but this was a really good comparison. I'm very pleased. So starting off with the primers, I'll let you know which one I prefer, but although I do honestly like both sides, but Hourglass Vanish versus CoverGirl, I do think the Vanish primer is going to give you more of that blurred veil on the skin. It is gorgeous. If you want to splurge, it is splurge worthy. However, I still really love the CoverGirl primer. I feel like it's a little bit more of a light version to the one from Hourglass, but you're going to get a little bit more of that blurred effect with Hourglass for sure. As far as foundations, same kind of thing here. The Easy Blur from Huda Beauty is going to give you more pigment, a little bit more coverage, and definitely those blurring properties, especially paired with the Vanish primer. It's a really beautiful combo and it looks poreless, like it's super smooth and very seamless. So I do really like the Huda Beauty. However, I also love the Soft Glam from e.l.f. I think this is just so beautiful for the price. You cannot beat it. Also gives really great coverage. It has more of a satin finish. It's not as pigmented as Huda Beauty, but like I said, side by side, the differences are very minor. Like from a distance, you could not tell. And I still will continue using this e.l.f. foundation because it is beautiful and I love the way it wears as well. But if you want to splurge, I don't think you would be disappointed in the one from Huda. You can always get a sample as well too if you don't want to commit to that price point and you want to try it out, get a sample first. As far as the powders, I actually prefer the one from Lottie London. I think the undertone for me, it's just a little bit better. It's a little bit lighter and brighter and also has that beautiful matte finish, but it looks really seamless on the under eyes. I'm here for both of these, but I think Lottie London for me is going to be the winner. As far as the one size, I do think it depends on the kind of tone that you're looking for pink, because it's a little bit more pink than Lottie, but it's also not as bright in my opinion. So Lottie London takes the cake. As far as bronzers, now that I know that that smell in the bronzer from Kosas is unfortunately not just my bronzer, it's just there, I think I'm gonna go with Makeup Revolution. Both of the bronzers look pretty much identical in my opinion. I cannot even tell a difference. So I think Makeup Revolution is gonna take the cake. As far as blush, I do like the one from Patrick Tom more. I love the tone of it. I really like the color. Again, it's in She's Blushing. It is the perfect everyday rosy tone, but the Catrice one is also gorgeous. This one is in Peach Passion. It has a little bit more of that peach undertone, but I really enjoyed this. I think it gives a really natural kind of glow to the skin, and this is a $7 blush. I mean, come on, it's a 2-in-1. I really like it as well and I will continue using it. I think whichever one you choose, you won't be disappointed. You're going to get a beautiful finish, beautiful wash of color. I think it just really comes down to the shades and the finishes, because I do think the one from Catrice is a little bit more glowy, but other than that, I love them both. As far as eyeliners, I really like the one from Rimmel more. I think it's darker, creamier, and honestly, it lasts a little bit better for me throughout the day versus the one from Huda. I do like the one from Huda, but I'm going to go with Rimmel on this one. This is a good one. And then as far as setting sprays, I was actually highly impressed today because I did get more of that matte finish from the one from LA Girl, whereas I feel like Makeup by Mario spray is a little bit more hydrating. I'm getting more of that matte effect today with LA Girl. I'm really into this. I love both of the misters. I will also continue using both. I think it comes down to preferences though for your finishes. If you like a more natural finish, a little bit slight dewiness but not too much, I would go with Makeup by Mario, but the one from LA Girl I think is fantastic. Also has a really nice mist and I love that it has no scent. So both of these are a winner. As far as lip products, I love them both. Don't make me choose, but I think with either or you won't be disappointed. These lip liners from Hard Candy are great. I feel like the ones from Charlotte Tilbury are a little bit more long wearing, but there is some good lasting power still with Hard Candy. It's just I don't think as long as the high-end one, but I still really like the tone. I think this is a really good undertone for Love Trap, so this is a good dupe. I also love both of the lip oils. I think same thing with this. You really won't be disappointed with either of these. The one from Milk has a little bit of a sweeter scent and it's a little bit creamier, but they both give really pretty pigment and I love that creamy milky pink. I think the one from Milk is a little bit lighter, but the one from Hard Candy is still gorgeous. I mean, it has really pretty color payoff and they're both stunning. This is one of my all-time favorite dupes that I have done. I'm gonna put this in, I think, my top 5 favorites because it looks really good. The differences are there, but they're not too crazy. And I feel like right now I would go out in public and nobody would know that I'm wearing different products on both sides of my face, which is always the goal when doing these videos. At the end of the day, makeup is fun. Splurging on makeup, you know, it's optional. You don't always have to do it. So I like to do these to show you that you can still create a beautiful makeup look with affordable products. With some of the high-end products, you might get a little bit more variety as far as shades. You might get also a little bit more of that blurred effect. But it's not to say you can't get that at the drugstore as well. You might have to just maneuver your products a little bit more. It also comes down to your skin prep, the tools that you're using. So the point is, though, you don't need the expensive stuff. It's fun, but it really just comes down to you and your preferences. You can still get a bomb makeup look with affordable products. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which side you prefer. Let me know which products you have tried. If either of these, if you have tried them, which one do you like more, drugstore or high-end? But yeah, I really love the way this turned out. I'm very impressed. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for new videos every week. And if you love this kind of content, there is more to come. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye.